Let's go ahead and merge in Elizabeth, one, please. Carol.
Hi.
Hi. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, are you both on? All right, perfect. Now, Elizabeth, I need you to add on Maud.
Perfect. Send me her number and I will definitely do that.
I'll text you her number right now.
Sorry, I lost her.
Okay, I'm gonna text you Elizabeth her number. All right, so you're fine. All right. We need just one more person. We have a board of the live. 50 plus. Everybody, we're just waiting for one more board member to have a forum. It wasn't for the weeds. I'm still getting emails, by the way. From who?
I called her twice and messaged her. Sent her I'm doing it.
Okay. I messaged her, I left her a message and also texted her and I got her back from her.
Okay.
All right, we're just gonna wait a few minutes.
Yeah, I called, that's my good technology, the answer. Okay,
Laura? You trying to get Mom on stuff? Mom's not on the board.
I beg your pardon?
Mom's not on the board.
Oh, it is on.
She's not on the board of this letter that Ron has.
She is on. I'm sorry, you're mistaken.
Okay, so let me read what Rhonda said to me.
Well, that means that you guys have a quorum then.
Unlike
Yeah, we have a quorum.
Unlike a suspension for not taking a mandatory class, a director that does not automatically regain their position even if they become current on their payments the day after the 90-day delinquency period. As such, your delinquency to the association has been for more than 90 days, and therefore you have automatically abandoned your position on the board and are no longer on the board as a director.
Okay.
That includes Maud. She had the exact same situation.
Maud,
You can't reinstate her.
Yes,
You cannot, that's not how it works.
Yes, it does.
Then talk to your lawyer.
You
She
can
told us when you
reinstate a
reinstate.
board member that's paid your
That's not what
delinquency.
Rhonda just
You're
said. I just read to you what
misinterpreting.
Rhonda said.
What
And
Rhonda-
I waited until this meeting to see
point
what you
your
would do,
left-
and you would
don't
do
point
the
your
right
finger.
thing.
Okay.
And you
Don't
didn't
point
do the
your
right thing
Officer,
back.
can you please help?
You didn't do the right
maintain
thing.
Order. We haven't even started the
So,
meeting.
I'll have a DBPR complaint
Excellent.
and a civil suit.
Excellent.
Because once again, you guys are not following the rules.
You don't know the.
Maud is off the board for your own attorney. What your attorney said me, we have the same situation. She cannot be reinstated. You
Once
lose
a
it.
board member
completely.
pays.
That's not what Rhonda said. That's not what Rhonda said.
I know what Rhonda said because Rhonda emailed us and it told us what the
Exactly.
process is to.
So then
format
why is Maud on the board? Because you can't be
Officer,
reinstated.
please, this is not even on the agenda.
There's no agenda, it hasn't even started yet.
This thing, she can do whatever she wants to do, as long as she's not committing a crime, there's nothing I can do. Because if I kick her out for being loud, I open myself up to a lawsuit, and I'm not.
I
gonna do
need
that.
you to maintain order.
I will, if you have to,
You have
man,
an
if you have to
hour.
address
We're here.
me respectfully, I'm not gonna kick you out for
Thank you very
being
much,
loud.
I appreciate it. Just
Be
not
quiet. Tell her to be quiet so we can conduct.
Why would
our
he tell me to
business.
be quiet?
She can-
We're not in business, you haven't even started the meeting yet. You haven't even started the meeting yet, so what's your problem? Listen, I hauled ass just to be here, to
Whatever.
call you out, because I waited, I didn't send one email, I didn't respond, I'm waiting to see if she's doing the right thing, and maybe Maud is doing the right thing. Maybe that's why she's not answering.
Okay, can we try Maud again, please?
I just called her right now. Okay, what's
Oh,
going
no,
on?
I just,
tried to
that's all I
get her.
have.
She
Thank you.
can't hear. She's flying. Unfortunately, so I can't get her.
Who is flying?
Marissa. She had a family emergency.
Okay. Yeah. No, we don't. Maud was voted, Maud
Was
paid her
voted.
delinquency, she no longer owes the association. We went through the protocol, and the board voted her back, so practically we have 8 board members.
Right.
A quorum is 50% plus 1.
So that's fine.
Correct. And we're 4. So we're waiting for Maud. Maud said she was available via phone, but we're not getting, I don't know if she has her phone on silent or what. She texted us that she was available by phone, that she couldn't appear in person, so we will wait.
What is the, what is the process that Kamani is talking about as far as having the same situation as
I'm
mom?
not discussing anything. This has to do with delinquency. I'm not speaking of anybody's owner's financial business. I'm not.
No, but the process in order to reinstate a board member.
The board acknowledges at a duly called meeting the fact whether a board member is delinquent past 90 days. We check to see if they've paid when we meet again, which was in early June, the third week of June. Two board members were delinquent. One was delinquent, one hadn't provided the statute certification in time. So they were suspended, they've been reinstated.
Because they.
One
did
is
provide
delinquent.
information.
Florida statute says if a board member is delinquent more than 90 days, that's automatic abandonment of position. That's Florida statute. The other one was delinquent, paid their dues actually has a credit on their account. So at a duly called meeting, which was our last meeting, the vote acknowledged the issue and voted her back on. Now, somebody that abandons their post like that, the board has an option to reinstate them or not. But they have to, not, a board member cannot sit delinquent.
Right. So her
You
right
can
is the
suspend
fact
a
that
board
she.
member for not complying with statute, which involves the issue of one board member for failing to provide the association with a board of directors mandatory statutory training. They completed it, but they didn't get the certificate, and June 30th was the deadline. So in our July meeting, per statute, we have to announce if we have any suspension or any delinquencies in the board. We have to duly note it in our minutes and announce it. Not in great detail, because it's people's financial business.
Right.
But we have to note it. So.
So she's just upset because she feels like she had the same situation, or I don't understand.
Correct. The difference of the situation is Maud paid her dues already. She's up to date. She's no longer delinquent. So the
Right.
board has the right to decide to vote her in and then ratify any votes that she may have had when the association didn't know that she was delinquent to a point that she was more than 90 days. Remember, our financials don't come out
Right.
timely. So the moment we noted that we were advised that she was delinquent, we put it in our, that's what the line of board member organization, that agenda item I put on the July meeting was to address those three issues. And that's where we are.
Hi, guys, I called you actually again. I'm not getting anything.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend that we wait a little more because she confirmed via email that although she had a commitment that she would be able to step away and join us for voting purposes and discussion. So unless she has her phone on silent mistakenly, I would say rather than cancel the meeting and postpone the meeting, which we're gonna need to do it quick. What's the deadline for the bank?
3 days before August 31st, which is now.
No, that's
August 31st. Okay, so we've got a month.
But we don't wanna wait.
No, we don't. We do not. So,
So I'm sorry, what is the?
Oh, okay.
the line, the line of credit ends the end of August.
Okay.
But the bank wants to be notified 3 days before.
So, the agenda item, the only agenda item this evening is to discuss, for Carol to discuss where we are.
And
And what bank options the bank has provided her for the association. The board will discuss it, we'll vote on it, and be done with it. That's the only agenda item tonight.
I just didn't realize it was the timing of so.
Yeah, it's went by fast,
Yeah.
24 months.
That did go well.
It always does, it sits right up, and that's why I put it on a file.
I'm gonna,
Minute ago. Okay.
Thank you. You guys continue to call somebody, text me or something? Do I just check back? If we're gonna continue, because I mean, how much longer are we gonna
we're
wait?
gonna continue, I don't know if I have your number in my phone.
Yeah, 954-662-2001. I just wanna make sure. Yeah.
And Carol, should we go ahead and get a meeting on the books for our budget workshop?
I don't have, my calendar with me, so we're time for I will be at that meeting.
Which meeting?
She's just talking about budget workshop.
Oh,
Well, I
we
was,
usually have it in October.
yeah, I was gonna say, most people start thinking about it in September. But, yeah, you can start looking at your calendars and start giving us some dates. In the meantime, we can just have a discussion about this whole thing, without a vote, nothing official.
No, because it's a call board meeting. We can't.
Right, you can't call a long board meeting, but you can still have a discussion, I can still just talk about this whole thing. Because if you don't have a meeting tonight, at least you'll have information.
So we'll close the meeting and we'll,
The meeting's not open, because you don't have quorum.
so how would that be treated? You've been.
Just discussion, nothing official, just a discussion. No actions being taken, no voting. So,
And that's.
but we can wait for the minutes and see what if she jumps on.
And that's fine with Chris,
Yeah, because you're not doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah. All I'm doing is providing this information, that's it. Hello.
I just had a question. Because I went on the website, and
It's confusing, I know.
yeah, because I have a lot of money in there, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, so what's happening with the new portal, the new website? Hopefully by the end of Thursday, this week, everybody's balances will be seen in there from the old, it's being imported for everything.
Okay, but I just want to know.
Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time to do it because it's done with one client at a time. And, the timing should have been thought out differently, in all honesty. You know, I had nothing to do with the timing of any of this. And Brian's baby.
Does it work the same way, like before?
It's very
I have
similar.
a lockbox, like I have money.
Yes, it's gonna go right over. If you had credit elsewhere, on the old system, it's
Do
gonna
they
go
just take
there.
it out automatically?
It's gonna automatically go there. Now, what I'm gonna tell you,
No, then when I pay, like, say, I pay, like, I didn't have, once I put the money.
you were in auto pay or,
Like I would write, I would send from my bank into
oh,
my
on
account.
bill pay, absolutely, it comes the same way.
It just comes right out.
Sure.
So that's.
Now, you don't, it doesn't come. The phone's trying to calm down in the office, because our phones will be way,
I would be sure terrible.
so what I would tell you is try calling, and they can walk you right
So
through
once
it.
again, mom.
I would, I
I'll
would.
wait a little, I just want to, I didn't want you to show like you already finished and that's for now. Because it says 750 in my capital.
No, don't worry about that. When after you see, when you see the June 30th number, it's coming.
Okay, that's.
June 30th.
All right, that makes me feel good.
Oh, yeah, everybody,
Everybody,
same question, I
I
tried.
paid it,
Yeah. Oh my God, I had some people who had double payments, because they weren't sure they made the payment, and it went through, but they weren't familiar with it. So we had to get a lot of refunds. Oh, it's very confusing, I think.
Hope you got Columbus time.
It should be fine, but if not, you can. Unfortunately, everything takes longer than they tell you. We all thought it was all fixed now. The numbers are right in there right now. They're working on it. Yeah. Is that true? Whatever you expect, that is not it.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
It took me a while to go through this. And they said, oh, well, it's gonna merge it, because I have my mom's. And it's not under Baker. Well, it's under my brother and my trust, they make them trust. So it didn't merge, because the guy said, well, it'll merge. Another week or so, and then I will pick it up. Of course it didn't, I knew it wasn't going to. But I finally got it merged. I was saying, I took that apart, but I'm not too sure. How do you do it?
Or take it with you for
Two up here.
And you said one from and you think that's sealed? It's got something. I kind of said the same thing.
That's what we just. One client.
School is starting.
Well, I was unfortunate, I was gonna plan for the works with Kenny. And I was pleasantly surprised when they changed the structure with the needs. I took them up to do where my brother was, after they were bachelor.
Okay, all right, we're ready. All right, good evening, everybody. This meeting is called to order. Today is Tuesday, July 29th. This Board of Directors meeting is simply one agenda item. As I've mentioned in previous meetings, we got word earlier that the terms of our line of credit is ending August 30th, so the board needs to discuss the options with Carol Eskew. This is Carol Eskew from Judah Eskew. And let me just, the quorum of the board, we have Blair and myself present. On the phone, we have Elizabeth Palin, we have Kareem Chen, and Maud Bruce. Okay, so let's start off the meeting simply by telling us what are our options. I know you've been in communication with the bank. What are the board options at this point?
Okay, so your loan officer from Popular Bank, Eladia Fernandez, she contacted me, and she basically, to remind us, which we already knew, that the line of credit is expiring. The 24-month line of credit expires next month, at the end of the month, August 30th. 3 days prior to that, we have to tell the bank what your intent is. So, the bank does not know where you're at exactly with the project, so one of the things they do require is they need to have a list of completion by percentage and by phase of where we're at. So, we're in a good place. I don't know the time frame to complete it, but just based on the draws and all the work that's been done, I mean, we can kind of get a pretty good feel. So, originally it was a $4.6 million loan. We had $757,000 paid in full by owners, so they did not go into the loan. So we cannot draw that portion of the $4.6 million because people paid in full and did not go into the loan. In addition, there were 2 requirements by the loan for funds to be set aside. This is perfectly normal. One is called the debt service. That is $74,130. The other, they asked for additional reserve money to be set aside, also in the amount of $74,130. So, that money is sitting in the bank on Omega's balance sheet. It is your money, however, the bank will not let you touch it at this time. Just so you know, as we move down the years of the loan, the bank will let you always use that money. So we're gonna get to a point in time where the bank says, you can draw that money out and take it and use it. That money will be used towards the loan, just to let you know. That's part of the loan money, we took it out of the loan. It's gonna go back at the end, so to speak. So it's sitting on your balance sheet where you wanna make sure, just for, down the road, everybody understands that that $74,000 is part of the loan, it's debt service, and the other $74,000 sitting in reserves is also part of this loan. Thank you. Okay. So my colleague Mike has done an analysis of everything that's been spent, and you have $1,730,000 left to spend, basically. And that works out pretty darn good, because we have $1,747,000 left to draw. So the question becomes, do you want to draw the extra $20,000 or not? That's a board decision. In the end, that interest on that $20,000 is not a lot, as you could imagine. We have not seen any overages whatsoever on your project. I don't know if we're never going to see them. So, a lot of work went into putting these numbers together and for your contractor and your engineer. So hopefully we're on target. We have not seen one penny overage so far.
Okay, question for you. Because there are, because of the roofs are done, okay? And the roofs are done, they billed for the roofs, that last payment for the roofs was completed, right? Now phase 1, 2, and part of 3 is in the structure phase, okay? The challenge that we're facing is when you start opening these buildings, especially wood structures, you never know what you're gonna come across. So I think it's very important for us to pull the entire allowable amount by the bank to have as a cushion for these unforeseen reasons. If we don't use it, we don't use it. We can pay it back, you know, make a loan payment back, and give it back, right?
Yes, you can re-amortize this loan twice a year. It's in the original loan documents, at no charge. So, for instance, down the road, if it's a resale, somebody pays in full, we figure out the interest through, like, either June or December, and we collect that money, then we send it to the bank, and they re-amortize the loan. They do that twice a year for free.
Right.
So yes, if you had any surplus left over, Patty, at the end of the project, whether it was 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, it doesn't matter, we could send that to the bank to pay it down.
Okay, excellent. My next question is, the options that the bank gave you, did they give you, an option to extend the line of credit so we're only paying interest on the money we draw?
No, they will not do it. That was the option we were hoping for, and the bank will not do it.
Okay,
So they felt that 24 months was sufficient to get the job done. And to be honest, we started a little late. We didn't start back 2 years ago to start doing the work. So, you know, this is the way projects like this go. This is not unusual.
so Carol, so what are our only options at this point?
Sure. So you can draw down the 1,747,000. Well, it's 1,747,518. 1,747,518. That includes the extra approximately $20,000. Now, remember, you have more money than that to draw, because you have about 2.5 million that you haven't taken. But why are we not taking that? Because $757,000, almost $758,000, people paid in full. So we don't draw that money down. Now, I'm just telling you how other associations act sometimes. Some of them take the money. And why? That means another special assessment, just to let you know. I've been on projects where concrete, you don't have that here. Concrete's the devil. You don't know, Diana can probably tell you. You have no idea what you're up against. We have projects that started out at $6 million, they're $16 million now. So they're getting as much money as they can, taking it all, and then paying it back if they don't need it. That's what they're doing. But if you took more than this $1,747,518, it means another special assessment. So I just always like to tell clients,
I'm not understanding that.
No.
What do you mean by another special assessment?
because you've already collected from people. We did a $4.6 million special assessment. Let's just round numbers. Let's say $800,000 was paid in full. They didn't go into the loan. So that 4.6 million becomes 3.8 million. You see what I'm saying? Correct. We collected 800,000 over here, so we can't draw that money down. Because we've already spent that money. We've given it to the vendors. Instead of drawing it and paying interest on that money, we paid it to the vendors. So only the people who are in the loan pay the interest, remember that. They're paying their share of the special assessment plus their interest. So, that doesn't penalize the people who paid in full, that had that option. And you have a number of people who paid in full. So, I bring this up because I've had clients that have said, we found out we have to do this project too, over here. And we need more money. So that's really what my question is to you. Is there any other projects that have come up because of this? Like I said, you've had no overages. Your AIAs, A1As, whatever people call them.
We haven't had, any additional projects. You know, we've had disputes with the contractor, whether, for example, the patio ceiling, the finished ceiling. They're saying, no, that's not what we're saying that's part of it. So Rhonda's handling those disputes, but additional projects in the future that you're saying that we must do? The only thing other I can think of is the restoring, the asphalt.
Okay, that's separate from this.
Yeah,
This
you
is
mean from the
typically-
project,
Yes.
from roof, you mean
Yes.
from the building?
Something that was unforeseen that now we're up
That's what I
against.
was telling you earlier, with these wood frame buildings, we may encounter something.
Right.
So we need to be able to allow some wiggle room to
You got
allow
about
for the
20,000.
unhousing. Huh?
You got about 20,000.
That's what
Which
I'm
is a
saying,
drop of the bucket.
that's what I'm saying, but you're saying another assessment, we already have an assessment.
But follow me, if we assess 4.6 million, which we did, there's two things that go on. You special assess $4.6 million to do a major project. How people have the option to pay is a separate issue. Because the assessment is, everybody has to pay their share. Your share is 30,000, your share is 40,000, whatever the numbers were. However, if you go into the loan, you're paying your 30,000 plus the interest. You paid in full. You're only paying your share of the special assessment, no interest. The money is already spent. I can't take a $4.6 million special assessment and then add another $200,000 onto it. Think about that.
But where are we getting, I don't understand the example, I'm sorry,
No, that's fine.
I'm confused, I really am.
So,
My understanding has always been, you have a loan, you have a line of credit for 4.6, from that 4.6, we will credit the prepaids, and that remaining balance is the maximum available for
Correct.
the association.
correct.
That's what we want.
That's fine then. If you don't foresee, like I said, what most of these contracts are, including concrete.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. What is this additional assessment? You're saying there's a 20,000 for us.
That's included already. The 20,000 is part of.
You mean going back to the bank and asking for more money?
If you needed to do that.
But I don't know. We don't know. We don't
Right
have a
now?
crystal ball.
Right, exactly. That's why, in all honesty, most of these projects are done within the 24 months. And it's just a late start, is all it was. You lost about 8 months or something. And remember, we also started collecting the special assessment in July of 2024 because we were waiting for the insurance to come down on the budget, to not, hit people so hard. So there were a lot of moving parts here. So he didn't start the actual work. I don't have the exact date with me, but it wasn't 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So you lost a bunch of months in that. Had the work started within 30 days of when the loan closed, you probably would have been done by now. And you know exactly the dollar amount you needed. Exactly.
Okay. In your professional opinion, you've done this for many years, you work, a lot of associations now are in their 40 year. I'm sure many are up against time like we are. What is the thought process of many associations?
If you don't know of anything major that you don't have already in this special assessment, I would just take the extra 20,000. And that's exactly the amount that we have, the 4.6 million, less the people who paid in full. That's the number.
But
That's what we've already drawn.
But what would be our other option?
The other option is if you knew you had additional projects that came up and they're not gonna be able to be paid for, out of the 4.6 million, see, that's the part that I think I didn't get across. If you spend more than 4.6 million, how are we getting the rest of that money?
We would have to reassess.
Yes. So my thing is, if you already knew about it now, that's why I bring this up. You have money sitting there that the bank won't let you take, but you're gonna have to special assess for it again.
What money is sitting there?
The $758,000 that people have already paid in full, we can't draw down from the loan.
Oh, understood that.
Yes.
No, that is understood. We only have to spend The original 4.6 less what the prepaid
The
is,
bank
that's the
doesn't care about
available
the
cash
prepaid.
to the
The
association.
bank doesn't care about the prepaid. They will never ask you who prepaid. That's not what the bank does. The bank is prepared to give you the full 4.6 million.
If the association said, let's take just in case when they start opening these structures, there's something, that wasn't foreseen, that the contractor wants to do a change form, or the attorney agrees it's not in the, it has to be done, but it's not in the original contract, you're saying that 770 something, we still can tap into it?
Yes, but you have to special assess for it.
What are the numbers we're looking at as the difference? Or maybe the numbers, if we change the assessment?
It wouldn't be changing the assessment. You would have an additional assessment, a new assessment. You don't want to change it, Patty, because people have already paid, a bunch of people have already paid in full. So you don't change an assessment. You hit them with a second special assessment.
And prolong.
Yes.
So if you had say if you had a 30 years to pay for the assessment.
It's a 20, yes.
I'm just
Yes.
saying, then you can add on that you have an additional 10 years.
If the bank will give them extra time, right now they won't. This is a 20-year loan, that's it. So the bank, for that to happen, you're gonna have to pay to reclose on the loan, and you don't wanna pay that. So it's a 20-year loan, it ends then, everybody knows it's 2044. We wish. 2044, the loan ends, the 20 years. So that's what I'm saying. So right now, my recommendation is just take the extra 20,000, because that excludes the 700 and something thousand, which we probably should, because you don't know of anything concrete additional right now. Like I said, most
The
of this
only
happens
thing I
in
can
concrete.
think of is possible foundation issues. That is the only.
And would
thing.
that be an insurance claim?
No,
No, I don't know.
no. We had three buildings in phase 4 that had foundation issues.
And they were very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that happens and we run out of money, because remember, the special assessment is just for that purpose.
Right.
Nothing else. You're gonna have to special assess for that money,
Okay.
because you're not gonna have it. So one way or the other.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I have a question. So, okay, let's say there is issues found in certain phases that are not completed. Does that mean all units are special assessed, or the units that are incomplete are special assessed?
The phase.
Yeah, so we're tracking everything by phase, so only that phase would get special assessed. Remember, when we did the numbers, he gave us all the numbers, your engineer made sure of it, by 1 through 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if one ends up, for whatever reason, over, unfortunately, you have to go back to 1 and special assess them for the difference.
So, but my question mostly is, because phase 3 is half done, half gone, right? So let's say we find issues in phase 3, then the people who are done have to pay in as well? Or would it be the buildings that are not complete?
No. Your condominium, it's whatever buildings are within phase 3.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if your building's not affected by the increase or the overage or the extra work. You're one entity. That condominium, phase 3 is one entity. One is one entity. It doesn't matter which buildings make it up.
Remember, each phase stands on its own with regarding to this project.
Okay, yeah, I just know that phase 3 has a 50-50 split with like the C-111 and then the
Stuff.
other ones are stuck up, yeah.
Right. But everyone would be assessed because phase 3 is a whole unit
It's a
together.
condominium. It's a condominium. You have 4 condominiums that make up Omega Villas.
Now, the other question is, these 40-year fines.
Oh gosh, yeah, with the city.
So we won't know till the abatement hearings are, phase 4 is close to closing what needs to be closed. We have the electricals completed, the engineer needs to sign off, now we're waiting on the structure because when they pulled the fence permit, apparently they included the required landscaping that the city requires along the fence on public streets and public roadways. You know, anywhere where there's a fence, there has to be some, right?
Right.
So in phase 4, as an example, it was additional 30,000, but we had it in our operating, remember I emailed
Yeah,
you, said you
absolutely.
have it in your operating, so
We
phase
have
4
the
is good.
equity and the cash, absolutely.
That's not the case with some of these phases that are negative, right?
Correct. So if they run over because of having to do landscaping at the very end,
They will.
they're gonna have to be special assessed for that. We're gonna look at each one individually.
Yep. That's going
Right,
to ask
because
us to
phase,
happen.
yeah, phase 4 and phase 1 will have the biggest landscaping charge. Phase 2 and 3, because they don't have.
The difference is phase 4, every phase has an operating balance, right? That makes up the one balance that we see on our balance sheet, right?
Yep.
Phase 4, you confirmed we had 100 and something thousand, we had the funds at the time, so I said, great. We have operating, because it's not an item that's in the 40-year certification that was planned, right? We found out from the city, when they pulled the permits already, that the city was gonna require, right? So phase 4 got lucky, but that's not gonna be the case with the other phases,
Right.
because some of the operating balances are negative in some of those phases.
Phase 1,
Phase 1 is a negative,
correct.
so.
So we're gonna deal with that when we talk about the budget for 2026.
Yeah.
Because whatever that number is, we have to have a plan to replace those monies.
Yeah, and we'll go through that in our annual budget meeting, which is
Yep.
typically October, but for your example purposes, if we know that right now, phase 1 is in negative balance, and they're gonna have required landscaping, what do we do for phase 1?
So their budget for 2026 will take that into consideration, and we'll work some numbers for you. You're going to decide over what period of time you wanna give them to put the money back.
No, but they should be finished by the end of the year, if everything goes smoothly and the owners do what they need to do with their lower windows and so forth. Hopefully by, I would expect, by the end of the year, the structure is done, you know? What if the structure,
Special assessment, unfortunately.
for the landscaping? Now,
Or any additional monies if they go over.
right, that's that, and now.
Because remember, landscaping was not part of the special assessment.
Right.
So I don't want people to be confused thinking you could pay for the landscaping out of special assessment, you cannot.
Correct. So if a particular phase does not have a positive flow and their operating balances enough to cover for that landscaping without leaving them there, then that phase would need to be special assessed.
Or we can put it in the budget. Because putting it in the budget and maybe collecting it over a couple of years.
But how is the association gonna pay these vendors? We don't
Because
wanna
you
draw
have the
down.
cash overall. And it's kind of like, well, 2 and 3 and 4 have a surplus and 1 has a deficit. Is it right? We see it all the time. You have to have a plan to put the money back. What's palatable? So, yeah, the easy way is to special assess everybody. In fact, in phase 1, or whatever phase it is. That anyone who's gone over, even if it's a special assessment, has to be special assessed, or they have to have the money sitting in their operating fund balance for us to utilize.
Okay. So, to my knowledge, unforeseen is that landscaping.
Yeah.
Possible foundation issues in some of the buildings. The unexpected when they start opening these wood frame buildings. And the potential fees once we go to abatement hearing.
So, as you've probably been told many times, with most cities, they're going to reduce that down to whatever their expense truly is.
Administrative expenses. That's what I hear, but I also hear it depends on the magistrate.
I mean, I'm not gonna say one way or the other, I see what happens with our
Carlos said
clients,
that.
yeah.
It depends on the
And he's
magistrate.
right, but, you know, you hope for the best and, you know.
Okay, let's say we get a bad,
You
deal.
could ask for a period of time to pay.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Where's that money, we have to do an assessment for that?
Depends on how much, again, how much is it and which phase does it affect?
And how much the phase
So let's
has in
say-
the operating account?
That's right.
But doesn't the operating account need to reimburse the project? Is it part of it?
No.
No? Okay,
Because that was not part of the special assessment.
okay,
So no, that should come out of operating.
okay. Just like landscaping should come out
Yes.
of that.
Now, if by some miracle, we end up with a surplus at the end of the project, let's just say, we're gonna know by which phase, okay, whether it's 1 through 4, or whichever, we're gonna know. That money, by board vote, can be put into that phase's operating fund, if there was a surplus.
Understood. Understood. Okay, so the options is to draw down 1,747,518. What's the second option?
The second option, according to the contract and what we've spent, we draw down $1,727,812.
That's the $20,000 difference.
You got it?
I'm not comfortable with these foundation issues, although foundation issue is part of the structure, so wouldn't that fall in?
I can't say for sure, Patty, I mean, honestly, it's more of a legal question because your attorney might say yes.
Okay.
No problem.
But if we stick with the 1,747,508,
518.
the payments don't change.
No, that's already
Everything's the
included.
same, okay.
You got it.
If we change to 1,727,812,
It's 20,000 less, it's considered at that point, you're gonna have surplus left, and we decide when we're done, how the surplus gets allocated. So
okay.
it's not a lot of money, obviously, it's $20,000.
is nothing.
Right.
Okay, all right, before we go to the residents' board discussion, Maud, Kareem, Elizabeth? Do you have anything, sir, that you wanna add, ask?
Yeah, I understand it's straightforward.
Okay.
We're not exempt on drawing out that money that we can. And like I said, if we have any, issues with the foundation, I mean, I say you could take that money and use that for any unseen, project.
You're talking about option one, that's 1,747,518, the available balance.
Right, that we're not penalized for that, and none of the homeowners get a special assessment on top of that, it would be smart to use that
Yeah.
Yeah.
to show what we have to do, what we have to do.
Agreed.
I agree with what you said, yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth?
Oh, I agree too, I'm sorry, I was getting.
Okay. All right, so let me go to the audience. Are there any questions regarding what we just discussed? Regarding the situation with the line of credit? Does everybody understand?
Just one question, I wanna make sure that we're talking about the same thing. You know that the work, for phase one, phase two, and part of phase three, have to include the electric, the plumbing, and, what was the other thing, Ronnie?
AC.
Remember what it was.
AC.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be discussed on Thursday.
I know, on Thursday.
Moving
but-
the pipes and the air
Yeah,
conditioning
exactly.
and the electric.
Exactly, but is that gonna be covered by this particular loan at this point?
Okay, so the Austro construction, the 4.8 million, did not include mechanical and plumbing and electric. Remember, we did the Cavalieri
Yeah, you did
because
it
we
for
had
whatever.
money. But now when they're removing, and this is what I'm saying, now when they're removing the T111, replacing it with party board, which was voted on, there's, the code, the way it goes in, creates, it needs to come out a little bit. So unfortunately, the air conditioning units, the plumbing, electrical outlets need to push out, right? So that, we're getting quotes on that. So I'm glad you brought that up. We're getting quotes on that. That is aside from the Ostro contract. The bank gave us the maximum the bank would approve whether we had it included or not, right? Because we don't know, we can't assess what we don't know. It doesn't make sense. So now as they're opening these buildings, they're realizing, hey, now that we're replacing T111 with party board, the code requires this much of backing. That is creating a shortness of pipes that are coming out. And some of these units have to be, in order to replace the hardy board, you have to move the AC unit and put it back, so that's gonna be additional charges.
Another special assessment. It's not included. Yeah, it's not included in this work.
More money! God damn it! Fucking asshole!
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the reality. And the contract clearly states it, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and we cannot assess what we don't know.
Remember, this was the maximum amount any bank
Would give us, regardless.
We waited 12 years.
We waited 12 years for it, correct.
If there is money there in the account for that, I mean, not that it was spotted for that, but if there is additional money, can that be used to pay for that instead of a special assessment?
But how are you gonna pay it back, Norman? You have to special assess everybody to pay it back, because it's
No,
not.
I'm saying that we've got the loan, everybody's got their special assessment
Right.
that they're paying. If there's additional money in that amount, like,
It's really not. We're taking money that people have already paid.
Right.
I think she understood, that they've already paid towards the 4.6 million. We can't change the purpose of this special assessment. All we can do is say, hey, bank, we wanna take the whole amount, including the extra $758,000, because we have a problem here. The bank will let you, just to let you know. I've never seen a bank say no. However, they're gonna make you turn around and special assess for that money almost immediately.
Even if we have additional money from the original
It
special.
doesn't matter, that money's already been spent. You're gonna spend the whole 4.6 million from the loan, there's no doubt about it. You're
The
gonna
contract alone is 4.8. The bank didn't give us the amount of the Ostro
took
contract.
money out of the other monies and we paid the $485,000 to start the project, whenever it was, I can't remember the date, to get it going. That came out of the loan account.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, that money was used very wisely. And yes, you would have to assess everybody for that extra money.
In that phase.
Yes. In that phase. Now, the other option is, just to let you know, you take the money that we've already discussed, the money that you're entitled to, 1747518, that we've already special assessed everybody for. Then you find out 5 months from now, you need more money. You can go back to the bank and say, hey, I need another $400,000 because this happened, that happened, that happened. I've never seen a bank deny, because they've already got 4.6 million into the project, right? So, listen, anything's possible, but every bank's got money to lend right now, so what I would tell, what you're gonna have to special assess for. There's no money anywhere to pay for those kind of extras. You got $20,000 wiggle room, based on what has happened so far.
And that's nuts.
It's not.
So the bids have, I saw the request for bids go out by the project manager, so we'll know better by phase. And basically what it's entailing is entailing AC units being disconnected to allow the install, and then putting that back and connecting it. It includes, I don't have the exact letter in front of me from the engineer, the pipe extension, like the spigots.
The water spigot, the water pipe.
The light, we had the opposite in phase 4, we had to push in because we are lighting and our.
Is this gonna be phases 1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, and half of phase 3.
Okay. So you'll have some prices soon to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
How you're gonna pay for it. I have no idea what kind of numbers.
So, Okay, so you answered my question, so let's say for that project, phase one, it's gonna be $30,000, right? We can go ahead and ask the bank for that additional money.
You can always, once you have all the paperwork, I wouldn't do it until you have it all,
Okay,
and you know what everything's gonna be.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so-
not piecemeal.
Exactly. And then you go back to the bank and say, hey, I need an extra X dollars, whatever, and this is why.
and will that money be allowed to go over 20 years?
That's gonna be up to the bank, but typically they add it on.
Okay, so we have 18 years. Okay, so the payments will be very low, let's say something like that, for additional
Again,
monies.
at 4.6 million, everybody knows what their payments are, so if you add 100,000 to that, it's not a lot of money for the payment to increase, you know? Over that
You're doing
period
it
of
over
time.
18 years.
And a lot of people might decide to pay, because it won't be that big of a number, they might decide to pay that. You don't know what you're up against.
Okay.
But also the bank doesn't need to know at this time which contractors be chosen.
No,
So
Nothing.
you can, as you know, and I followed up with them today to make sure that that went out, is the scope of work for the other phases, you know, as far
The
as.
scope of work has already been
Yeah,
completed by the.
but they sent it out to the.
They sent it to
the
the vendor
vendors
proposals
for
already.
proposals.
Okay.
So I say worst case scenario, go down.
Ladies, please, please.
So, okay, so we've already determined the drawdown of the monies that you said that was left, 1,747,518, right?
right.
Any other questions from the audience?
Norma, I thought you had a question.
No, she answered my question.
Okay.
Okay, so as it regards the units that have their electricity, which is the most, it's going to be the most expensive of it all, to move them off the wall where T1 lead applies, there's only like 1 inch, and there's a required thickness that needs to be 2 inches, or else you won't be able to get those T111 off and get the 2 inches behind it. There are cases where we do build outs, and I know this is probably not the meeting for that, but we have to look into the architectural adjustment that can be done to create a covering or casing for where your meter panel box is. If
That's more of a construction.
That's what
Let's
I
save
just
it for
said.
Thursday,
I just-
because this is strictly about the loan. You're asking something I'm not even, the engineer's not here to answer. So yeah, are you coming Thursday?
Could we get the engineer present also?
There'll be
On
one of the
Thursday?
engineers here.
Yeah,
It's
on Thursday.
Either Madge or with Larry, or somebody will be here.
Okay.
Any other questions about the loan? Does everybody understand what our options are? Okay.
The only other thing, I did not see any draws this month in July. Where you
We
remember
don't
that?
have draws. We had the roofs in phase, the last 15 buildings, that payment was done in June or July?
I show June being the last payment.
To Ostro?
Yes.
Okay, I've got a bunch of S&D here.
Which, this is July, right? Let me see.
Yeah.
What I'm going for is whatever this number is, less what you spent in July, is what you're gonna get.
So in other words, what the maximum available for the line of credit is what the board is discussing.
Yes, so it's this number, this was our June 30th number, less whatever you have spent in July for a draw. So,
Yeah, so 10, 23.
unfortunately, they can't tell.
I know.
You paid $53,365 to S&D.
Yeah. And I'm thinking one of those is wrong, but,
Really?
yeah. Because it looks like the same invoice, it's not a lot, it's $37.50.
A duplicate invoice? A duplicate invoice?
It doesn't look to be a duplicate invoice number, but it does look to be a duplicate. That's something I'll take up with you
Okay.
folks tomorrow, or whenever I get over there.
It's two separate numbers, Patty, but she's thinking they made a mistake.
Yeah, potentially. Again, it's less than $4,000. It's not a ton of money, so.
So what my point is, it's this amount less whatever
Whatever
you draw in
June,
July.
June,
And I'll let you know
whatever's not
exactly.
posted in July.
That's
month end is not yet, so.
All right, so we need to make a motion.
Yes.
Wait, let me just, does anybody have any question? Okay. All right, Blair?
All right, I would like to make a motion that we take the full amount available, $1,747,518, balance on the loan availability,
Is this any July draws?
less any July draws.
I second it. Yeah,
Who seconded? I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did.
Maud?
Yeah.
Maud second. All in favor?
Aye.
I heard Elizabeth, Kareem, I heard, Kareem and Maud. Elizabeth?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Aye, of course, I made the
You
motion.
make the motion. All right, so the motion passes, that's the decision. So it's always good to know that we have that future option with the bank, that's always nice.
So now we have to get, for the bank as well, I don't know if this is Blair or you or Diana, I don't know who, but we need to give them where the project is as far as completion with a percentage per phase.
We have the engineer do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
so, and that's, I'll tell her what the plan is, I'll email her tomorrow, I'll copy you on it, and I'll tell her that that's coming.
Okay, we have a construction board of directors meeting Thursday, and we'll bring it up. Tell Larry that we need the firm to provide the bank the percentage of completion. Do they want it by segments, or do they want it?
As much as he'll be willing to.
So he could do, all right, 10% of the roofs are done, 30% of the structure is done, whatever that is.
Yes.
So electrical, blah, blah, blah.
Good.
That's it.
All right.
Just a quick question, if I'm going to get copies of this, of the budget and the loan and different things, do I put a request into the board to
No, it's on the
management or
website.
to?
It's on the website.
It's on the website,
Yeah,
I can go on there and I can see all
You'll
the.
see folders. You'll see 40-year and then subfolders, or you'll see
But
budgets.
I'm gonna look at the monthly payouts, I wanna be able to see what's being
Under the
paid.
financials.
Financials, that's
Yeah.
on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah, every bit of it, all of what we used to get, all
Whatever
the
we get
financials, with the
emailed.
exception of the accounts receivable.
Right. Okay, I looked one time and didn't see it, so I'll look again.
Out of the $4.6 million, dollars that was supposed to be a loan, how much has been used? I mean, if we only have 1 million and something, I don't understand that part.
So far, we spent $3,122,215.
Oh, okay. So, there's still 1 million and,
1,700,000, about 28,000 left based on the contract. So originally it was $4,850,000.
Was the contract.
Correct. So we paid 250 out and you got $4.6 million loan.
Right.
So that's how that.
And that was the maximum the bank
That is
regardless was
correct.
going. So our contract could have been 6 million, and the bank said, nope, 4.6 is all you get.
Well, they said that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the other banks wouldn't even, well, never.
Right.
We can go back in time.
yeah. Okay.
Question. Carol,
Yes.
a question. Delinquencies. When someone goes delinquent, how do you notify the board? And please Blair, just let Carol act.
This is a
Don't
loan meeting,
prompt
it
her.
has nothing to
Don't
do
prompt
with
her.
delinquencies.
No, we don't
You
want to
can
talk to
ask her after the meeting.
No,
This
I'm
is
not,
not,
we're
no.
not.
Open
You're
forum.
I'd like to make a
Dictate what I
motion.
ask.
Open
Don't
forum
get
is
to
for
dictate
agenda
what I ask.
items. She's
Don't
available
get to dictate
after
what I
this.
ask.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make a
Dictate
motion
what I
to
ask.
adjourn. You can ask her.
You just
I
don't
will
want,
second
you just
it.
don't want people to hear. That's what you're
All
doing.
in favor?
Who seconded the motion?
I seconded, and everybody, are you all in favor?
You can ask her.
Shady,
Thank you.
shady.
Thank
Shame,
you.
shame,
it. But every month with the financial, we give a report that shows the past due and the prepay.
And that's for each individual homeowner.
It's per anyone with a past due or prepay on the list.
Look how that works, Blair. That's